What's up, YouTube? What is up? Where are we at? Yeah, I'm done with the laundry. I think I'm live. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I think we're live. I think so. Fuck me. Yeah, I still vape occasionally. I'm gonna share my screen. Oh, I think Eric wants to come on. Let me get Eric in. He can share my pen. I think we're there. Are we live? Yeah, we're live. Let me not fuck this up. Because you know what I usually do, right? I'll start one of these things and I'll hit the red button and stop the transmission just by mistake because I'm a fucking idiot. All right. There we go. I think we're good. We're good. Abdullah. All right, mate. I've spoken to you before. I always like seeing people I've spoken to before. I'm from Manchester. Now I live in New York. I used to trek across the moors twice monthly to go to that epic curry house called Kashmir. Fucking hell, man. Talk about a small world. That's just insane, dude. Oh, fucking hell. I do like doing this. It used to cause me a lot of stress. But just like occasionally I want to do it. And every time I do a live stream, by the way, I lose tons of subscribers. It's like people remind themselves that they're actually sub to me and then they'll just unsubscribe. For whatever reason. Hello, Grant. I see Grant. Tommy from the fucking Bronx. That's not definitely... Is that Tommy? Yeah, that's Tommy. Fuck me. That's the only comment he ever gives. Tommy won't come in here, man. No, you know what Tommy does, right? Tommy from the Bronx will say, "Hey, I'm here. Hey, you big bastards." And then he'll fuck off again. You'll never see him again. All right, Cog. Yeah, now, one of the reasons why I'm streaming tonight, because I was listening to Cognitive Thoughts stream, and it was just really making me laugh. It was very entertaining. Really entertaining, just something a little bit different and funny, and they had a good group of people in there. I kind of wanted to join, but didn't get a chance. But it inspired me to stream tonight just for a little bit. It's not going to be for too long. And I'm gonna share my screen, hopefully, and hopefully it works. And you'll see the kind of videos I've been watching lately. Just a little bit. So, Tom, if anybody wants in, by the way, let me get Eric in because he did ask. So let me just send the link to him. Just give me a sec. I'm not totally a dummy. All right, Eric, I'm going to send you the link on that one. Don't have shitty audio, for fuck's sake. Because if you do, I'll just kick you off. Let me just get this figured out. I've got... fuck me, man. I've got Shitlord and Orny just tweeting themselves back and forth, and including me. You know what I'm talking about. All right. You can't. Where are you? Eric St. Pierre. An egalitarian, nothing more, nothing less. All right. I'll send you a message. I'll send you the link. If you have, there you go. All right, let me go back to this. It's very difficult holding a hangout on your own and not coming across like a dick. Anyway, so you kind of know what I'm doing there. I'm just trying to get Eric in. There we go. I'm going to scroll back on the chat. Tommy, Jesus, get Tommy. No, yeah, like Tommy's never going to come in. Abdullah, I need to talk to you again, man. Yeah, the email. Yeah, you have to email the link, Cog. If I'm on an iPad, if I'm on a computer, it's fine. I would have been able to do it, but I wasn't able to do it at that point. But it was just a fun stream, man. I would have loved to have joined it. I really would. Like earlier on, anyway. I want to know who that couple is with that guy with the beard and the girl with the tits. That was the thought that was going through my head. Who were those people? I just wanted to know who they were. Eric, you got it.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, mate, I can hear you.
All right, cool. I actually just bought a pretty decent microphone, and it's the first time I'm using it. So, yeah, I'm glad it works.
Well, we can see you too. We've got you on screen. Well done. You're not ugly. That's always a good thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nice to talk to you at last. I've seen you on my Twitter feed for a long time.
Yeah.
It's always a little bit strange. You've always got that disconnect because it's always text based, and then you end up talking to somebody. It's like, oh fuck, what do I say?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard your voice plenty of times before. So, yeah, like this is the first time I've had any interaction with any other people besides like Atheist Fox. I did like a bit of a live stream with him on Halloween. But yeah, this is good to talk to you finally.
Okay. Yeah. Well, cool, man. It's all good. It's all good. It's just like a public phone call, as far as I see it.
Yeah.
And if you know people are listening, you've got to try and make it at least somewhat entertaining, I guess. Otherwise, people just like, then it's just a public, it's just a private conversation that people are listening to. That's always been my sort of rule of thumb, basically. I'm trying to look at the chat here now. Somebody asked me a question. I'm trying to find where it was. Oh yeah, how do you feel about the whole Trump can't never win talk you made? or that Trump can't win? Well, I didn't think he could. I was looking at the polls and everything. That's all it was. I was as educated as everybody else. I didn't care that much, really, because I've got no... you've got that one vote, right? You can vote for whoever you want, left or right, But at the end of the day, your vote doesn't really matter that much. And I had no vote whatsoever. So I didn't feel like I'd lost anything or gained anything. I feel like I've actually gained something living in West Texas because it's all oil country. And I don't know if this has actually got anything to do with Trump, but the price of oil is stabilizing and going back up again. And Saudi Arabia are capitulating on their oil output as well, which has a major impact on where I live. The price of oil and everything else is majorly impactful on my life. So I'm not saying that Trump has done that or had any impact on that yet, but the fact that he's now going to be president-elect and then be president, I think it is having some impact here. I don't know, even if it's just like a mental thing. I don't know if that's actually going to come to any fruition, but they found a massive oil field in the place exactly where I live, called Wolfcamp, and it's got like billions and billions and billions of barrels of oil, and that will affect and give stability to America's output of oil as well.
Are you in the oil industry?
I don't work in the oil industry, but I live within it. So if the price of oil skyrockets like it was almost $100 a barrel about 2 years ago, and when it's $100 a barrel, it's really, really good for America. People flock to this area because oil is so valuable. So you'll have a lot of drilling companies come into this area, and a lot of prospectors come into this area, and a lot of companies that have tons and tons of money come into this area. So it floods the area with cash. But when the price of oil goes down, all these companies disappear. They don't disappear. They go somewhere else.
Right.
They'll go to where the oil price is higher. So this is what I've seen. I've seen an oil boom and an oil bust within the town that I live in. It's not a town; it's a city almost. There's 100,000 people live it. So, as far as what Trump will do for this area, he's talking about lowering taxes and stuff like that. That all sounds really good, but he hasn't done shit yet. So,
yeah,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, everyone thinks that like Trump is responsible for this, Trump is responsible for that, but other than like a few dumb, stupid tweets and like a phone call to Taiwan, and maybe saved like 1,300 jobs in that one company. Like, he hasn't really done much.
No, well, no, I mean nobody's expecting him to do much yet.
Yeah.
Because he's not anything yet. He's in transition. He's slowly selecting who the people are that are going to be around him, and we're all commenting on that. It's going to be Mitt Romney or whatever. Within certain positions. But if you want a real insight on it, anybody who's listening, I mean, listen to that Hex Sticks and Hammer 666 guy.
Yeah, I started watching.
He knows what he's talking about. He does know what he's talking about. He seems to be very well educated and gives it a very balanced opinion on things. I haven't heard him say anything that's like, what the fuck? He seems to be. He does seem to know what he's talking about when it comes to American politics, way more than what I'm educated on. So I do listen to what he's saying occasionally, and take it in mind, and opinion on it. Then I try to be more well educated on these things.
Yeah, I like him too because he isn't Trump. He makes a fair assessment. Like, he's obviously thinks Trump is going to be good overall for the country, or at least,
I wouldn't agree with that, though. No, I don't think he. No, I think he hasn't explicitly said that he thinks Trump's going to be good.
Oh,
and he has explicitly said that he's not in favor of Trump, and he's not in favor of Clinton either. He thought they were both shit. So he gives a very, I don't know, as subjective as objective as he can be.
Oh, well, maybe
we're talking about political issues.
Yeah.
And I think he does a pretty good job. He's a very good orator. He knows what he's talking about. Or he definitely comes across like he knows what he's talking about.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
Yeah, but there has to be substance there.
Well, of course.
And he seems to, like I say, know what he's talking about. He seems to definitely be educated on the subject of politics and history and other things, as well as the occult, which is, aside. I know you just talk about that stuff, and that is also quite interesting.
I haven't really paid attention to that, but I've been kind of mainlining political videos for months now, so probably I need to get my head out of that and start listening to that kind of stuff. But that kind of stuff does interest me, like the occult kind of things.
Oh, the occult thing, yeah. Well, it's just it's the abnormality of the way that people can think. It's fun though. It's very interesting to observe it. But that's like everything else, isn't it? It's like if people are having drama, if people are arguing or whatever, people love to watch it. They don't want to be a part of it. But it's excellent to watch. It's very interesting to watch. It's the same thing for everything, isn't it? If it's online drama, real life drama, whatever. It's like when your friends, like you find out that they're going to get divorced or something like that, or they're going through a marriage breakup, or it's like, oh shit, what, really? Like there's that immediate interest because it's somebody else's problems. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I get it.
So
yeah, just
anyway.
something you're like, just kind of just being an outside viewer to something big, something.
Oh yeah, as long as it doesn't. Yeah, as long as it doesn't affect you, it's fine. People love that shit. Anyway, where are we at? Admit
Hammer.
Devon was in the wrong for supporting that corrupt cunt Hillary. Anthony, admit you knew that Devon was in the wrong for supporting that corrupt cunt Hillary. No, I would have still voted for Hillary. I don't know. That's bollocks.
I don't like the
Good.
I don't like this divisiveness of the election. Just like it should just be, if you're voting Trump, okay. Like, okay, if you're voting Hillary, okay. Like, I don't get like this absolute pure hate. Have hatred for the cabinet, like have hatred for the candidate and maybe their Oh, you doing a screen grab or something?
Good. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't like this demonization of like the other side, like the supporters. That's the part that always seems to drive me nuts.
Yeah, it seems to
with
have
this.
gone absolutely crazy this time around. As far as, I support Hillary or I support Trump, has caused a massive divide to a point where, people are hitting each other and, trying to hurt each other. I don't know, it's just fucking mental to me. You never get that in England. If you're a Labour supporter or if you're a Conservative supporter, nobody cares. They might disagree with you, and you have political discussions and political disagreements, but you still don't think that that person is an absolute fucking dick. That to me is strange. That it's so powerful in this country. Very, very fucking odd. Really fucking odd.
Yeah, this in the immediate area I'm in, there's a little. The tensions between both sides seem to be, okay, I don't agree with your candidate, but I'm not going to disavow you as a person. But I live in like a more rural area. However, you go into the more populous areas.
Whereabouts do you live in America?
I live in Maine.
Oh wow, that's really cold right now.
Not bad for this time of year, but anyway. But some of the more populous areas, like Bangor and Portland, they have certainly more of a liberal slant. So you're going to get a little bit more of. So if you were more of a conservative voter, you're going to get more of a backlash in those types of areas. But yeah, but it's just I followed on Twitter just in and of itself. Just I follow people on the right and the left, and just seeing the why, just everyone freaking out. It's just surreal. Just, the Trump is literally Hitler brigade. I never get that.
Yeah, I think Billy Bong puts it best.
Oh, I saw this. Awesome. I'm not hearing the audio.
Don't worry about it.
Fucking the white man. Fucking people. Fucking blatantly obvious. Look. The numbers, fucking math, fucking percent. Fucking that goddamn stupid.
That's the end.
Yeah.
Goddamn stupid.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I don't know how the audio comes across there. I don't know what the chat. I'll have to.
I heard it at
the chat, man.
So it's fine.
Yeah, it's just Billy Bong's voice, man. It's fucking fuck. Yeah, he's a good lad.
The motherfucker of a fucking video, right?
Yeah. Everybody subscribe to Billy Bong. Everybody should be subscribed to Billy Bong. Always. Never unsubscribe from Billy Bong.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the kind of shit I've been watching. Watch a bit of Bearing. Matthew Santoro. I watched that guy.
I've heard of him. I've never seen Matthew Santoro. I mean, I've heard of the video where he talks about his ex beating the crap out of him or something like that. But that's all I know.
It's the kind of shit I watch when I'm on my lunch. I'm eating beans or something, and I'll watch him. I like this guy, the Satri. I can't even pronounce his name. Satriotician.
Yeah.
I think that's how you pronounce that. Yeah, he's another English guy.
Yeah, I've seen a few of his videos.
Yeah. This guy, some black guy, promoting Tyler Preston. Jesus Christ. I like Philip DeFranco. Philip DeFranco's entertaining, and he's entertaining to listen to.
Yeah, I like him too.
I like that guy. I like Computing Forever, Lack78. What's his name? I can't remember that Irish guy.
Yeah, I really like his channel.
Yeah,
it pretty much just started off as completely tech related, and now that
but I still watch his tech reviews. I watch his reviews on laptops and stuff like that. Even though I'm not even planning on buying one, I'll still watch his reviews because I find him talking entertaining.
Oh yeah, I love his channel though, overall, but I'm just when I started watching a few months ago, it was more, it was kind of more text up and then some social commentary. Then, you know, he rebranded the channel as kind of 50-50, but pretty much what you see is pretty much just like now 60-70% social commentary, along with like
Yeah.
the rest of it being tech related stuff.
But there's some new guys that I really like. Look at my subscription list. There's a Irate Bear. I like that guy because he's another English person. And I am drawn to these people, especially if they're from the north. Be good. Because he's just being himself, and I like that. I can't find him right now.
I haven't seen any of his stuff.
Irate Bear. This guy. Am I still sharing screens?
Yeah.
Yeah. This guy. He's good, and he makes some really good videos. 2,600 subscribers. Yeah, so his channel's growing, which is good. So there's tons of smaller YouTubers, but I don't know. They have to offer something different. I don't offer fuck all. I've got subscribers for no reason whatsoever. So if I can promote other channels that I like, then great. Josh Edrington, this guy, he's my mate. Subscribe to this guy.
He's your mayor?
He's my mate, my friend.
Oh, mate. Oh, I'm sorry, I misheard.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what we say, mate. He's my mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy's funny. John LaJolie. He hasn't done anything in ages. Oh yeah, 1 month ago. What's that video?
Just because I'm voting for him doesn't mean you know my heart. Doesn't mean you know my family. Doesn't mean that I'm not smart. You keep on telling me you know who I am. You keep on telling me you know who I am. And I hate you for it. Yeah, I hate you for it.
In case you don't know, this is a guy called John LaJolie. He's a Canadian comedian, and he does the best satirical comedy that you ever see. And if you don't know who he is, look, Google search him and look back on what he's done.
Just because I'm voting for her doesn't mean you know my heart. Doesn't mean you know my family. Doesn't mean that I'm not smart. You keep on telling me you know who I am. You keep on telling me you know who I am. And I hate you for it. Yeah, I hate you for it.
I'll be right back.
Oh, I hate you for it. I fucking hate you for it. Just because I hate you doesn't mean I know your heart. Doesn't mean I know your family. Doesn't mean that you're not smart. I keep on telling you I know who you are. I keep on telling you I know who you are. And I hate me for it. Yeah, I hate me for it.
Yeah.
That's really good.
That about sums it up, really. John LaJolie is fucking awesome, man. But yeah, I didn't actually realize. Yeah, he's just done that while the election season was on. Ha. I do like that guy.
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, that is pretty funny. Oh my god, that was another cringeworthy face of picture of a jank right there. Thumbnail.
Oh, yeah. Jesus. All right, where we are. So what else? Yeah, I like all the science stuff. How many iPhones can a 12-foot guillotine slice through? Answer: none, really. Not very many. I like the feminist stuff, but it does kind of get boring. It has to be done in a funny way.
Yeah, Bering is usually pretty good about that.
Yeah, Baron's funny, but he does it just because he's wanting to do it, and he's doing the videos that he finds funny himself.
Yeah, you can definitely tell he's not bored doing it, and that's what makes the channel so good.
Yeah, this was good. Sargon's video on this, although there was a video glitch on this. Actually, it repeated itself.
Oh yeah,
have you ever noticed that about the 20-minute mark, it started playing itself again? It was very, very strange. I like the MMA stuff, but it's I'm playing video games too. Oh, this guy, yeah, that Baron responded to. This one was interesting. Intellectually dishonest or ignorant of dollars. Some guy that was playing video games, and was this? In fact, actually, I think this video was a long time ago. I think it was about 8 months ago. So I think I might have just clicked on that by mistake. Some Devon stuff. Obviously, you always got the arse there. This was good. This is a good video. I do like the hydraulic press channels. See, this is how anal I am, or stupid I am. Autopsy 87. Good channel. If you're not subscribed to this guy,
yeah,
there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, I like his stuff too.
Oh, Autopsy 87 fucking. He's just a good guy as well. That's the thing. I like nice people as well.
Yeah, he and I
had. You find that they seem like decent kind of people.
Yeah, Autopsy and I've been pretty friendly on Twitter.
Yeah. This guy, Cool Hard Logic's good. I don't know if you know this guy. If you like the science stuff, testing. These are the people who think the Earth is flat.
Oh,
which,
one of those.
Yeah, but that was what Cognitive Thought was talking about earlier. He was doing those videos. That was the stream that I wanted to come on. It's like, fuck, man, what am I talking about? This stupid shit. It's like a refreshing change to Islam and all that kind of crap. It's like let's argue with people like Flat Earth or Christianity or something like that. Some really easy subject that we don't really have to tax our brains on.
Yeah, I mean, one time like Marcus, Ani, and Leica and a couple others were once on Twitter were kind of piling on this flat earther. And pretty much just drove him insane until he pretty much blocked all of us. It's pretty satisfying.
Oh yeah. That's usual, isn't it? I mean, if they can't defend themselves, it depends how you act with them, really. If you're kind of nice with them, and you kind of egg them on a little, and still be nice at the end of it, but then you've still got the problem of they might want to keep in contact with you. That would be the part that would upset me. I'd be like, oh, fuck me, they still want to talk to me now? Christ. Like we've already talked about that the Earth isn't flat. We've done that part. Do we now have to be friends? Because I don't think I could be friends with somebody who thinks the Earth is flat.
Yeah.
Like proper friends anyway. I mean, like I think I have any respect for you anyway. If you think the Earth is flat, I have no respect for you. You're always going to be a little bit of a jerk to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Eric. Hellbound.
Yep,
Sorry.
Oh yeah.
I want to talk to Hellbound Heathen. Hellbound, do you want to get in this chat for a sec? or Cog. Because I'll do another like 20, 30 minutes. Because Hellbound Heathen, who's in the chat right now, he does a chat where he'll watch like Christians talking about heaven and hell and things like that. And he talks to his mates about that and how it's not true, which we all know anyway. Yeah, the Van Allen belt. Yeah, I want to talk about that one too.
You ever watch Vernaculus?
Yeah, I like him, man. He's all right.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the more articulate people on YouTube. Like, he always addresses things in a very succinct and exact manner.
He's a smart young fella, for sure.
Yeah, and there's also another one. You still there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm sorry, the screen confused me. Yeah, his video about Castro was actually really good, and his takedown and his explanation of why the mainstream media today is on the decline was also pretty amazing. Just, the distrust.
Yeah. I mean, he like I say, he ain't no dummy. Yeah, he used to do he used to do like a weekly series where I can't remember what the fuck it was called. It was about 18 months ago or so, and it was before the mainstream media got a hold of this police brutality thing. And Vernaculus did this takedown on the video, basically, and he did a really, really good synopsis of what went on, and I thought it was really impressive. And I kind of liked him from then on, but I mean, he's a bit of a dick online. I've had a few arguments with him, but he's all right.
Well, I've only had a handful of interactions with him, and it's just fun shit posting. So I've never had a problem with him.
He shit post all day long, man.
Yeah. Hey, Cog.
Hello there.
Hello, mate.
Come on, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, mate. Fuck me, man. You must have a night job then, or a very early job.
I'm actually on my weekend off, so I'm just happy I can
lucky
relax.
cunt.
Just, literally just making a blunt as we speak, so I can relax a bit more.
Yeah, I would do that, but I'm hosting this hangout, and I don't have my material to hand.
Oh God, I always have it to hand. It's got to be there. No, the flat Earth stuff before. The reason why I made that show was just because it, like you say, it's a nice relaxing chill where you don't have to you can just take the piss. It's literally, that's all you can really do, because it's like these people always go down to the basis of the fact that the Illuminati exists and you worship the devil to contact the Illuminati or some shit like that. And this is because, and so to be against the Illuminati is to be for God and root for God and stuff like to that extent.
Yeah, so I think the most interesting thing that could ever happen would be that somebody who came into the chat actually believed it, like really, really believed it, and you'd have to talk to them.
You want to see the comments I get on these live streams of people who are like essays of why the flat Earth exists and stuff like that, and you're just like, fuck me, these people, they sit there and there's no real, they don't send you links. I always ask them to put links, because I'll obviously it always gets flagged by your comment section, but I'll always allow it if it's a link to some form of evidence or something. But they never have it. They never actually do links. They just sit there and just do an essay of why it definitely exists and how you're an idiot and how you follow NASA and stuff. But most of their evidence, but most of their evidence is NASA. That's what makes me laugh, is that if one guy stands out from NASA and goes, oh, it's all a lie, they all jump on him and just go, oh my God, this guy's telling the truth. He's the one guy who stepped forward from NASA. And then you show NASA showing exactly how this can't be correct because of evidence and science that backs what they're saying. And it's like, oh, well, we can't believe NASA. So,
yeah, no. I mean, sometimes you have the energy to go around and around. And sometimes you just need to sit back and laugh.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. I get it. I've invited a guy called Hellbound Heathen
Yeah, he was
kind
having
of-
a laugh at the
who
chat.
loves to talk about these things. Yeah, and I'm always in his hangouts. He's got like a hangout, and he'll do a hangout. There's like 3 people watching, and I'll be there. And I'll be
Like
I'll be shit posting the chat and stuff.
Like I always find them fascinating. We've had one on ours before, this is the craziest one that I think I've ever heard, is a downloadable medication that you put onto a disc, right? And like onto a hard disk, and then you take it out of your disk drive, turn it upside down, and then put a glass of water on top of it. And then apparently the medication is absorbed by the water because it comes off. It comes off the disc in waves.
Well, of course it does. You're a fucking idiot. Are you an idiot?
God, it's so bad. Like the fact that they sell these downloadable medications online, and people pay to download this medication onto a disc.
Yeah.
So they
The online stupidity is fantastic.
so
And it is worth
Literal-
celebrating. I totally agree with you, man. It's definitely worth celebrating.
literal snake oil being sold,
Oh,
and you
yeah.
just got to laugh at it because people will always fall for this shit because there's always going to be ideologies, and you've always got people who are always going to go, oh, I don't agree with that. I'm going to try and believe that I can find herbs and stuff that will constantly make me the fountain of youth, essentially. Like, it's mental.
I like it that you believe it and you're in Manchester.
I have believed it at one point, but I think it was at the time it was because I was so used to the media lying. It was so easy to take on board that they lied all the time, and then but then you get trapped in this system of like you really want to dig deeper and deeper and deeper, and the further you dig, it comes back to this whole religious mentality of good versus evil. The demon worshippers versus God. It always comes back to that. It's like I became an atheist and stuff and tried to go away from what the media was saying, and then you get turned around because you're like, what the fuck? This has gone straight back to religion. Like, oh.
Wait, you were on the button, dude.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Oh, my
Hello.
God. Hello, mate.
Hello.
Heathen.
Yeah, I had a coworker a few years ago who believed in the most ridiculous conspiracy theories. Like when he was a 9/11 truther, and that wasn't the most idiotic thing he believed in. So this guy was a doozy. Like he would like go on these theories about how the Grand Canyon wasn't like the water erosion, but it was like due to electrical.
Yeah, so he's a
Field-
Christian.
Oh, great.
Oh yeah,
But,
he was a Christian.
Oh,
He was-
Cog, you had that no bullshit guy on, right?
yeah.
Right. Well, he was posting videos about 9/11. I didn't actually get his opinion on those. I didn't get a chance to get his opinion on them, but I don't know if he was posting them because he thought they were true, or if he was just like posting them up to create a conversation or something.
I don't know if it was more parody. I'll have to chat to him about them because we're doing a collab soon. But
You saw those though, right?
I've not seen those videos yet. I've only seen his SJW videos that he's done.
No. I'm talking about the 9/11 ones.
I've seen loads of 9/11 ones. In fact, I used to watch.
His 9/11 ones.
No, I've not seen his 9/11 ones. That's what I said.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen like I think the first ever 9/11 thing that I watched was actually before Alex Jones was really famous, and it was like, and I remember watching a 9/11 thing with him, and I think he carried on talking about like these satellites that are on top of weather vans, I think it was, and they can see through your walls, so they can see what you're doing inside your home with the like. It just God,
Like
man.
Google Earth.
Alex Jones is fucking nuts. He's got some of the craziest ideas. I don't know if he's just like a giant Poe or if he actually believes the bullshit that comes out of his mouth.
I think he thinks as long as he's on those weird supplements that he sells, that
Male enhancements.
every dream he has is pure gold. So he goes to sleep at night and then he wakes up and he goes, "Oh my God, the weather vans!" Like
This is what I always say, man.
The chemtrails.
yeah.
Some of those-
I mean, like you see a Joe Rogan talk about him, and the impression I get from Joe Rogan is the guy, the guy for the most part is legit, or well, rather he does believe most of what he does. Maybe he probably does like understand there's showmanship that needs to be had, but I think he actually does believe a lot of the stuff he spouts out.
I
don't know, but if you ever like watch his show, he talks about nonsense for about 10 minutes, and then he sells his product for a couple of minutes, and then he goes back into some tirade about reptiloid, Illuminati, chemtrails, or whatever, and then goes back into selling his supplements. So I don't know. I think he's a Poe.
You just have this very, but I think I do. I believe he's more. He's a person who realizes he can make a lot of money off all of these people that are completely anti-establishment, anti. That the government's gonna like try and rot your brain with TV sort of people, which that's essentially what it is. It's just got crazier. It started off with the brain's gonna rot you. Your eyes are gonna go square, and then and now it's become you see the planes flying through the sky. It's gonna kill your kids with the gas. Like fucking hell, man. The stuff
Yeah,
they come
I
out
saw.
with
Yeah,
is
but just so many people believe that nonsense.
Yeah,
Like
I saw the
Reddit,
interview
like
with
cancer.
Blair White. Like, did you see that interview he did with Blair White?
no.
And I missed that.
Yeah, it was a few months ago, and for the most part, it was just like about Blair White's views on trans issues or whatever. But then Alex Jones went into like artificial intelligence, like how it take over, and you can tell Blair White was like, "What are you talking about?" Like, it was just
Blair White was on Alex Jones' show?
yeah, a few months ago.
Really?
For that, I've not seen that.
I didn't know that.
It's
I
by
like Blair
far
White.
one of the more great segments, but
Yeah,
then he
it's
just
right.
fails about AI and robots and just
But this is the thing. Like someone brought a video up to us tonight of this guy who was showing how to get, because apparently in chemtrails there's what's it called now? It's not, what is it called now? It's not fairy dust. I'm trying to remember this because I've got to go backwards from this. It wasn't fairy dust. It was something like, it's basically, I'm going to call it science dust, just that's how stupid it is, tech dust. Basically, it comes within chemtrails and it goes in your skin, and it's nanobots. And it's nanobots to track your position at all times. Yeah. And do you know how you get rid of this? Well, apparently, all you have to do is send an
Take one of his
electrical...
supplements.
No, apparently this guy was there, and he looks like he's a crackhead, or a meth addict, because he just
Probably
has
is.
no front teeth. And he sat there with his hand inside this huge bucket of water with apparently oil in it. I don't know what else.
I saw that.
Yes, I don't know. It's like an electric
Yeah, I
current
saw
or
that.
something going around a band that's wrapped around it or something. And he's like this, and he was like, it's terrible because all he's done is turned off the lights, and then he puts turns the flashlight on and looks at the water, and he's like, "Can you see it? It's like, I can see bubbles." You keep swirling your hand around. And there's oil
Yeah,
in there.
he sees them.
Yeah,
Can you see it? Can you see the
leeching off your
nanobites?
skin.
God, it's so stupid. It's like, but I forget what it's called. It's something like it's literally called something dust, and I was like, so it's one step away from fairy dust. Like seriously.
Dust or something.
Well, fairy dust makes you fly. This dust apparently gives out your GPS location, which your phone can do. For fuck's sake. It's
Which is handy if you're going to be flying on fairy dust.
well, it's great. It's great because tonight alone we had two conspiracies. So one was that Pokemon Go is giving away your GPS location to people, and the next one was that the dust coming out of the air is giving away your GPS location to people. You can't win. They'll think of something.
So when they said that you're right, so it gives you away your GPS location, but what if you're lost? And it actually does give away your GPS location, and it saves your life.
The Illuminati picks you up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, to be fair, if I was trapped on a mountain without any form of help or phone or
I would prefer my skin to give
flare
up
or something,
this location.
and my skin gave off my position, I don't think I'd give a fuck right then. Cheers to save me. I wouldn't be like, oh my god, this is totally Illuminati because I didn't have anything on. I mean, for all I know, I could be wearing a yellow jacket and they've gone, we spotted you. You got lucky, you fucking idiot. What are you doing on a mountain without a flare, you fucking retard? I was testing the GPS location skin dust method. Fuck me.
Fuck off.
yeah. If I'm on a mountain with a broken leg, I wouldn't care if the Bilderbergers knew where I was.
Exactly.
It's like every time I hear a flat earther, part of me just feels like, I tell you what, walk to the fucking edge of the earth and come back with photos and I'll believe you. Because unless it looks like the wall in Game of Thrones, fuck off. Because you're telling me this place is surrounded by ice, and apparently we live in this 2D thing that when I look up at the sky and I see space, they're also 2D discs, but we're right at the bottom. I mean, it's just
sounds
mental.
like one.
Yeah, they believe that the planets are all holograms. That it's like a giant. I've talked with these flat earthers. They believe it's a dome, and the moon
It's a
and all
shield
the
Earth,
planets are holograms.
It's a shield
Like
Earth
they
that
got
they
it
go
all
for.
figured out.
But they haven't, because it's so everything is broken in their methodology. It really is.
Well, they get it figured out.
It just is. Like, every time I hear them, it's like, oh God, the stuff that they come out with. And they usually end up in, like, a conversation about NASA before. We've not made it to the moon. That was the one we were doing tonight, was because some woman had said to me, they didn't think that we'd made it to the moon because how could we get past the Van Allen belt? I tried to explain to them that the first thing that I said was, well, how many rad levels is the Van Allen belt? And they were like, oh, well, we've not been able to completely test it yet. And I was like, right, that's obviously what you've been told by this thing, but come on, this is going to be somewhere. We will have tried this or tested it somehow with a non-manned space flight. Anyway, it turns out that because of the speed that we travel through it, it's like walking across hot coals. You know what I mean? Because we travel through it in less than an hour, and if you were outside the spacecraft traveling at that speed, you get something like 11.7 rads, whereas you need 300 to have it within an hour to have a lethal dosage of rads. So because you're only getting 11.7 over the hour, it's the best way of putting it as an analogy is running across hot coals. If you stand still, you'll burn your feet. So you'll die from radiation poisoning. But this radiation of 11.7 is if you're outside the spacecraft. With the actual spacecraft itself, and then also your suit as well, it renders it as literally doesn't affect you at all, the radiation. And we've only broken through the with manned flight 9 times, I think it is. And then we've sent a few other, things up that have been unmanned. But most of the stuff that's manned up there, like the Russian space station, obviously is within lower Earth orbit. So it's like, it's not within the Van Allen, but it's when you're trying to explain this basic science to people, they just don't fucking get it. And it's like, I enjoy doing quantum physics in my spare time because I just find it fun to learn about. And when I hear about these people that don't get like just the basics of getting to the moon, like
they don't even listen.
It's just the basics of getting to the moon. Quantum physics is no. In my spare time, I look up quantum physics because I like to learn about it. Just I get a buzz out of learning about different types of like fermion particle, Higgs boson particles, how they move, how they interact. Just little things like that, just learning bits of information so that I can understand a bit more about the universe that we live in and the things that go on within the universe. But there's difference between looking at stuff with common physics, which is like throwing a ball in the air. And then
I do love how you say I do like to learn about little things like quantum physics.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a little.
You're just throwing that. Yeah. No, I like to learn about things. Like.
But it is.
Yeah, no. Whoa. It's not like I like to learn about how to inflate a bike tire or stuff like change the car change the tire on my car or something like that. No, it's quantum physics for you, mate.
Well, it is. It's the most. From my point of view, it was like when I grew up, I came from a Christian household, so it was always kind of like I wanted to kind of understand how a universe could come from. Obviously, that story died flat, right? Seriously,
You're
when it came to
from
creation,
Manchester. So hang on. So what's your background?
My background in Manchester. What do you mean?
Just generally. I mean, not Manchester.
Well, I grew up in a Christian household, quite a poor background, I would say, when it came to class. I think my mum was going through university to try and get a teaching degree. My dad had just sold a business because he'd had too many kids. So he moved somewhere else. So basically just a poor background, really. But when it came to
your financial background, but I mean, you sound like you're quite intelligent.
Well, my mum was an English teacher, so it's more about I like when it comes to learning about stuff. It's more that I just became like there was a period of my life when I didn't give a fuck, and then there was a period of my life when I became like a sponge for information. And when I realized I was taking on board this information quite quickly, I kind of got into quantum physics because it went from understanding maths, and maths was quite fun. But then I just wanted to kind of go on to how like particles work and how like atoms work and quarks and stuff, because it's the fundamental blocks of where you come from, like antimatter and stuff. Antimatter and matter and how it can come into existence, how things move. It's like
right.
And it's because like I can say simple riddles to people and I find them simple. And when you hear the answer, it's fucking simple, the answer, but most people don't get it at first. So I'm going to give you all a riddle and see if you can get it. Okay. So you have you have a neutrino and you have a photon of light. Okay. Now, if you know about anything about quantum physics or how light moves and stuff, you'll get it. So a photon of light will make it moves faster than the neutrino, but the neutrino will get from A to B quicker. How is this possible?
The photon has no mass.
No, yeah, the photon has no mass, but that's why it moves at the speed that it does. I've got another one for you after that, by the way, which will blow your mind. But this is just the first riddle. So so just to say again,
Yeah,
so
but
the photon of light moves quicker. The photon of light moves quicker than the neutrino, but the neutrino gets from A to B quicker than the photon. How is this possible?
Well, you're talking about the gap between things, basically.
Yes, yes, I am.
Right. Well, yeah. But you're not a physicist.
No,
by
no,
any
no. I
means,
just
right?
I just enjoy doing this for fun.
Do you work like in Dixon's or something?
No, I literally work, like in a corner shop sort of thing. I just enjoy doing my YouTube videos and learning about this in my spare time. I find it great.
I'm just kind of, yeah, because I mean, my knowledge of physics is limited, and you're not a physicist either, I imagine.
No. I
But
just
you
learn
know certain things, you know certain concepts, and you want to blow people's minds with it.
Of course you do. It's like, you know completely that a photon has no mass, but if it has no mass, then how does the gravity of a black hole interact with it? Boom, there you go. There's another little riddle for you.
Well, yeah, it's things we don't understand yet.
Well, well, we do understand it. It's because gravity also has an effect on energy, and that's what light is essentially. So, yeah, there's that. So it's stuff that we do
So you're
understand.
saying
but
you've
it's
worked
just
it
little
out.
riddle.
And
No,
Brad,
I've
you
not
said
worked
you've
these
worked
out.
it out.
These are already worked out things. This is just little riddles that I throw out
No,
there.
they're not.
'cause-
Yeah, but they're not, though, are they? They're not like peer reviewed. Like
No,
there are theories and stuff that are being thrown out there, legitimately with tons of evidence,
Yeah,
right?
basically.
But they're not actually like this is what's happening right now. We know how light works. We know how light speed works. We know how the speed of light works. We don't know how that works. We know the equation of it.
No,
but
we know the equation for how gravity interacts with energy.
Yes,
Of
we
course
do, but we don't understand gravity in itself.
Oh no, yeah, of course, it's still a theory. Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah, but you know, we're on the same page here. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no.
No, we don't actually understand why that happens. Like we imagine it as a flat plane, you know, like a rubber sheet, and then you get heavier things sitting on it and stuff, and that's how gravity works. That's how we envision it, but it's not actually how it actually is.
To a degree, yeah, but yeah, I would say that's kind of very layman on it. But yeah, I understand where you're coming from to a
But
degree.
you're a layman too.
No, I just mean the terms that you put it into because I've seen that
I'm
experiment.
trying to simplify it, you know.
Yeah, no, I see what you're doing. The riddle from before though about the movement and stuff is just because obviously a wave doesn't move in a straight line, but a neutrino does. So that's the reason why I want
We all
to
know
get
this.
it quicker. Yeah. So they're just little basic things, but I enjoy learning about
Right, okay, but you're throwing that out there like everybody should kind of know it, you know, neutrinos and
Oh, no,
people
I'm not-
don't know that though. Do
No,
they?
I know, but if it takes 2 seconds to, regardless of the names that I'm giving to you, you know, like you said to yourself, it's the path between it that makes it different. So if you know how a light moves in a wave, which I always thought that was just basic science, I learned that in school. So
Well, it's not basic science. If you can understand it as a concept, if you can understand it as like a thought process, then it works better than actually understanding it as a mathematical process. If you can understand it in your brain how it actually moves, then you will then be able to understand how it works in a mathematical process.
Exactly, that's the reason why I throw it out there, because when I think that a light moves in a wave, and I already know that's common science as far as I know.
Yeah, but people don't even understand what that means in itself.
I thought light was a wave and a particle.
Yeah, it's both. It's a superposition state, but I'm trying to be, like I say, just to the basic of how it moves. But it's still, even as a particle, it still moves within the wave.
Yes, but my point is, don't blind people with science because you'll turn them off. They don't understand it. They don't get it. It's just like, what?
I disagree from a point of view. I know some of my videos have humor within them, but I always like to throw a little bit of research in there, even if it adds science into it. As long as it makes sense within the context of it. Obviously, I've not done a video yet when I've gone, hey, let's just blow your mind with science today, because you're totally right.
You're not. Okay, well, all right. So, do you have like a scientific background? Do you have any scientific like?
No, I just have an interest in science. That's all it is. It's just an interest, and the interest came from learning about loads of different religions. Because it was one of those, because I came from, like I say, a Christian background. It was more trying to work out whether that made sense within the reality that existed, and you realize it doesn't. So then I started looking into other religions, because obviously you come from a religious background, you still have this connection to a God that you don't quite understand yet, and then you realize that nothing written by the hand of man makes sense to what a God could be if it did exist.
Right? Yeah, because when you start thinking about the world, you start thinking about what creates the world and how the world works. And you start, I can completely see that. That's how it worked for me too.
All right. So can I want to ask a question here. So, Lilakin, you were a religious person at some point then, I guess.
Who, me?
Yes.
No, actually, I wasn't.
So you're like a
Yeah, I grew up. My mother was Unitarian, and then towards the end of her life, she became a Christian. But actually, she became a Catholic. But no, I actually grew up with really no religion.
Yeah,
Okay.
me
That's pretty interesting.
all right. So, Carl, what about you?
My mum was it was weird. It was like Catholic, and then it went to Christian, born again Christian, and then to Prosperity Gospel Christian, I think is the other one, where it's Prosperity Gospel is because you're made in the image of God, and God used his word to create mankind, and the word is the strongest thing. You can therefore use your word to control your life. So, for example, they'd use examples like when you're ill, you would say you're the first person to go, oh, I'm feeling ill. And because you use that and say that word, you're more likely to get ill because of the negative connotations you've had by saying it out loud. It's the same as if you invite any sort of swearing into your life. So I can't listen to swearing or in songs or on TV because it's inviting the negativity. Seriously, the Prosperity Gospel's fucked up.
That's weird.
Wow.
Isn't Christian Science along those?
It's an oxymoron.
Christian Science doesn't make any sense to me because every time I looked into the science behind it, you realize how wrong they are. In fact, one of the funniest things I've ever seen with quantum physics when they tried to say that it proves God was the fact that they tried to say that the thing that keeps an electron around the nucleus of an atom is solidified light. Yeah, you're hearing me right. Solidified light, something that doesn't exist. But solidified light is what keeps it there. And therefore, because obviously God said, let there be light and stuff, he gave birth to the universe and so on.
Yeah, I know nothing about physics. Even I can tell that's bullshit right there.
Solidified light. When I read that, it was so funny because someone sent that to me saying like, oh, you're into quantum physics, I bet this will make sense and this is why God exists. And I just went, I'm only up to your second point. They were completely correct about the first few things, because they were like, do you know that very basic bit in the Bible where it's like God said he made the universe from the small things or the unseen things or something like that, and because we can't see atoms, therefore God made they do all this stuff. It's really funny, but it's I think another thing I noticed as well going to church was a lot of the psychology at play, where you get this great story about how the pastor or whatever, or the speaker at this time in point had prayed to God and God had told him to give away all his money and stuff like that, and he will receive in the end. And then he did, and he got a promotion, he got a new house, happy, it's like his family were happy and stuff like that. And then, by the way, guys, it's now time for the offering. Don't forget to put your money in there with your addresses, your emails. Come on,
Yeah, I never, ever did that. I was never a religious person, ever.
Yeah.
Not from birth to ever, even right now. Never even believed.
Yeah, I myself was never raised religious. Like, my mom believes in God, but she never goes to church or anything. My dad is an atheist. I've only ever gone to church like a couple times as a kid, but mainly with my aunt and my grandmother who were Catholic. I was baptized Catholic, but that's mainly because apparently my grandmother nagged my parents in order to baptize me. But I frankly have gone to church more times on my own volition than my parents have ever made me go to church, but it just never took.
See, it was a little bit of I felt almost like when I look back on my childhood, it feels like almost like an indoctrination. Because even though we went to the Church of England school and we were the only white family, so we had loads of everyone still had Eid, Diwali, and all these different celebrations that happened throughout the year. And we weren't allowed to celebrate them. My mum would actually have us removed from any of the classes or the assemblies so that we wouldn't obviously be able to take on board these other religions as well while growing up. Not only this, but when it came to summertime, that time you're supposed to have fun with your friends from school and stuff. No, we went to Bible week. Yeah, that's right. Bible fucking week. That's the worst thing you can ever do to your children, people. Yeah, do not do that to your children. Never send them to Bible week. It's the worst. Like some fat guy walking around in a globe outfit just going, he's got the whole world in it. It's fucking creepy shit, yeah.
My kids go
So did you actually study the Bible for a week?
You know, you go there for a week and the whole week is, well, it's not even a week. It's like they call it Bible week. It's not. It's a fortnight, and you sit there for a fortnight, basically camping with everyone else who's come there from the same church as you, so that you can go to this tent in the daytime to basically read and learn about God and do some coloring on, I don't know, Noah's Ark or some shit. Like that's all it is. It's just to indoctrinate your kids out because you want something to do for the summer, but you don't want them to get on with the kids in the neighborhood. So let's take them to where the church is going. It was fucked up, but it's, you know, it's one of those things. I feel like I do really feel like if I wouldn't have had Christian parents, I would have learned a little bit more. And I felt like I was held back because I had this dilemma in my life because my parents were so adamant that God existed and that you had to believe in him, and the only time anything good is going to happen is through him. And it really does like put a downer on your life because you start to wonder what's the point in everything, why am I even here, and these things you start to ask. And I think the most freeing thing that I've ever had is just realizing that nothing comes after death. And don't get me wrong, I could be completely wrong about that. I'm not audacious enough to say that I know exactly, but at the same time, thinking that nothing comes after death gives me a reason to live because it's the only thing that I have.
Man, fuck me, dude. I get asked that all the time because I live where I live, right? So the main question I get asked is, well, if you don't believe in God, then what happens after you die?
Right.
And the only thing I can ever say is it's just like before you were born. Right, and that's not my line. I think that's somebody else's, Christopher Hitchens or somebody's. But that's the only thing I can ever refer to.
My dad
you will never remember it. You'll never remember it. You just die, and that's it.
My dad actually, that came up today. I was at my dad's house, and the topic of death came up, which is always cheery, and he pretty much said the same thing.
Yeah, it's the main question that you ever get. That's all you ever get.
And
that is the main reason of religion, is because people are afraid of death. That's it. And I mean, for you, Cog, I wasn't aware of your sort of background with your parents and stuff like that. But it sounds like you were.
Well, you gave a fuck
indoctrinated into it
because obviously.
Dude.
It's like you want to connect with them on that level to try and understand what they go on about their seeing and stuff. Sorry, go for it.
Right. So, I mean, you're from Manchester, right?
Yes.
A northern town in England that is usually not a religious place.
I don't know. I live between a mosque and a church, so.
Yeah, but you're like, what, are you in your 30s or your 20s or your 40s? Or what?
I'm 28, so late 20s.
Right. So, I mean, I'm 46, so I'm obviously a little bit older than you, but I've never, ever thought England was a religious place, right? So it does surprise me that to hear your story that you were brought up in a somewhat religious house.
I don't know. This is the thing that I like. I grew up in Manchester. I went to St. Margaret's Primary School. St. Margaret's Primary School that had Hindu kids, Hare Krishna kids.
Yeah, exactly. So Muslim kids. A label.
But this is I know, but this is the thing. To me, there were so many religions that I saw growing up. I don't know how you couldn't see it as a religious area. In fact, we're one of the biggest multicultural areas in the UK. Manchester, it just is. And this, I've always seen religion. Even in a Church of England school, we celebrated Diwali, Eid, and all that shit because.
I'm too old for that shit, man. Because I mean, I was aware of Catholic churches and Church of England and churches, but I was like a state school.
But yeah, but you were what? You were 28 when I was born. You were 20, sorry, when I was born. So is that right? I think that's right, isn't it?
Well, I was getting out of school when you were born. And then some, probably.
This is the thing, but then I've grown up in a school where it's just been completely multicultural. In fact, I always have. This is why when it comes down to
it was like that when I was at school as well. I'm not like saying that when I was at school it was all white, because it fucking wasn't.
It really depends where you go to, like, because I know I've lived in the countryside for a bit where it's just all white kids in the countryside.
And you're in Manchester, so it's a very similar. Must be a similar experience.
Like I say, if you go a little bit further north to Derbyshire, though, then it's just a load of white people there. It's just loads of white people.
Of course, you get pockets of white.
For me, growing up, I grew up in even a more rural part of Maine and down East Maine, and it was just lily white. I went to a school, a kindergarten through 8th grade school of 120 something people, and I don't recall any minorities there at all.
Yeah, we didn't. I didn't even know the word minority when I was growing up.
Yeah, I didn't even know the word.
What that word meant. I knew I was growing up with people of different color, right?
Yeah.
You know, looking back on it, that's how I saw it.
To be
But
fair,
you would get, right, Cog. Because you're a lot younger than me. You're like 15 years younger than me, right? But you've still grown up during the English school system.
Oh, yeah,
you've
no,
got-
like I was going to say,
okay.
like, I remember when half-cast...
Right, listen. My question,
Acceptable.
not that. You're right. Okay, right. But my question is, as you were growing up, did you? Okay, were you more aware of the color of people's skin?
From the society that I grew up in, no. But when I moved to the countryside and I realized there were no black kids there, I think I was more aware of it then. But I was in trouble for being racist twice in school growing up, even though I didn't understand what being racist was. So I'm colorblind, and I colored Martin Luther King in green. That's the first time I was called racist. And the second time I was called racist was because I'd watched Kindergarten Cop and I asked my friend if I'd seen that new film Kindergarten Cop with Arnold Schwarzenegger in, and I got in trouble for saying nigger. Yeah, that's right. Because I said Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he asked me to repeat it when the teacher came over. So I said Arnold Schwarzenegger, and she took me out of the class. And I didn't know what had happened. I didn't even know what the word meant. So, yeah. And my mum came in, and she was like, "I'm pretty sure he hasn't got a clue what that means." And I didn't know what racism was until I actually went to. I actually didn't know what gay people were until
Why
I
do you
went.
remember it now, though?
The reason why I remember moving, this is the thing, to Derbyshire, and it was just, I went into the school, it was just white kids, and it was
like white central, right?
yeah. So when I went in there, and it was all white kids. I went home and actually asked my mum where all the black kids were, because I knew that they were terminology, but people would call themselves black kids, white kids, and so on.
Yeah, you
so
never used the word nigger though, ever. You didn't even know what the word nigger meant.
Well, I didn't know what gay was until everyone was calling each other gay in school, and I was like, "What is this term, gay?" I didn't even know what it meant.
Dude, we were learning about not falling in a canal at 7. You know what I mean? Don't never fall in a canal because it's bad. Never play with electrical wires because that's bad. Not like
it's one of those,
fuck a guy up the arse. That was
is
never an issue, right?
This is the thing in the UK. Yeah, it's never an issue. It's one of those, you're right, because it's like it never came into context, but it was like when I got to about the age of probably about 10, 11, 12, 13, that's when gay became the phrase, and everything was gay. This is gay, that's gay, oh, this is so gay.
It's fucking gay. I'm sitting in a gay chair right now.
Exactly. Everything became gay, and it was just like, what? And I never understood it, and then everyone would
Gay people love that. Gay people wanted that word to be like defused completely, and that was mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Like calling somebody gay used to be really bad, and it got to the point where calling somebody gay was a joke. There you go. We've diffused that word. And they did it. The gay community did that back in the 90s, right? When everybody was out clubbing and everybody was fucking each other and all that shit. Right? That's not happening anymore.
But this is what I like about the UK, and this is one thing that I find I have an issue with when it comes to a lot of alt-right people who tell me that I live in a white culture when I know it's Western culture, and a culture can be adopted by any race. It's just the way that it is. They either decide to adopt a culture or they don't, but you can't sit there and say that this culture only applies to a singular race. An ideology can apply to different races as well, just like any culture can. Now, I can sit here and say that hashtag not all Muslims, but I can definitely sit here and say all of Islam if I had to take it all on board as it is, including its teachings of Sharia law and the Hadith. So it's one of those things. I like to look at it as you can look at it as an all from a perspective as the actual ideology or culture itself, but to look at it as the individual, you can't.
I love the way you've skewed that conversation away. Sorry. You're very good. You're very good orator. You're very much like me. I do feel, Cog. I do feel like I'm in battle with you right now.
Oh, okay.
It's like no. It's like
I'll get my helmet on.
No. Listen. Like if me and you did a podcast together, it would just battling each other. Fuck you. I need to talk.
Oh, that's right. I'll go for it. I'm going to roll this. It's cool. So go for it.
No, man, I'm just kidding.
It's just one of these things that I've heard so much over the past few weeks on Twitter, which is this whole like, oh, it's a white culture and stuff. And it's like, when did culture become a racial thing? It's always confused with that one.
Yeah. Right. Okay. I think one thing that needs to be pointed out here is that you're talking from an English perspective here. And you're seeing it from the Islam shit that's going on in your life and all that kind of crap. Never affects me anymore. Never affects me. And I'm sure it doesn't affect Hellbound here either.
No.
You know, the Islam thing is like, you know, it's going to be something that you hear about or something that you read about. It's never going to be something that you experience, but it is going to be something that you experience, Cog.
Well, we have...
Right.
We
and
have,
I've experienced it too.
Muslim population here, but I mean, they work around here, they live around here, they go to a mosque. I mean, it's just never been an issue.
Like, I've not had an issue. The only things that I've ever pointed out are that there's a lot of UK citizens that like the idea of Sharia law in the UK. I like to point out that it's just been dumb to even fucking think that you could clash the two cultures together, because it wouldn't work. It's also like we have a lot of people in certain Muslim, let's say, dominated areas in the UK where you'll have certain members of a mosque surrounding the mosque saying, like, you can't drink in this area, you can't be a woman without a headdress in this area, it's a Sharia law area. And we have these things. We have the Sharia council. We have Sharia councils, which are kind of like a citizen's advice for Muslims in the UK. And they're at the moment they're being looked at by the government for obviously mistreatment of women within the actual. This is in the UK. This shit's going on, and it's really fucked up.
Oh, fuck yeah.
See, that's not right. They shouldn't have that, because that's essentially encouraging religion over the state. But
no, because it doesn't actually. It does encourage it. I see where you're coming from, but it also says very clearly that they don't have any right over, obviously, the law of the law of the UK. They just don't have any right over there. But it's the fact that a man and a woman will go there as a married couple to get marriage advice on them, but it's Sharia marriage advice in comparison to. So if the woman wants to leave the actual marriage, the man can technically still say no, and then the guy in the Sharia council will go, oh well, the man said no, so you can't do that, and she'll be in fear then that she can't do anything about it.
Right. Because
This is absolutely happening. Absolutely happening. Even before I left England 5 years ago, my wife was going to a Muslim-only gym, a Muslim woman-only gym, should I say? Right. And this was in the town that I lived in. Before I left, this was totally okay. You had a Muslim woman-only gym. Right. If they want to work out, then they can all go there, and it's just women only. And
are they working out in their burqas?
I have no idea.
I think one of sorry, go for it. You're saying
no, but this was 5 years ago, so I have no idea how progressive that's gone on.
The way that stuff is going now is like I think Goodfella did a video on this, and we were talking about it in a hangout, which was he's fucking brilliant.
I love Weak and Stupid or whatever it is that he does.
You might have seen the thing he did about.
I've seen some shit. That's it. That's the one I like.
Basically, there's a Subway in the UK that's stopped serving ham because obviously it's a Muslim area. Now, I can understand that from a business point of view that you might not sell a lot of ham. But the fact is, if I can't walk into a fucking Subway store and your slogan is have it the way that I want it, and I can't even get a fucking a ham sandwich because, oh, well, it's a Muslim-dominated area, and because you don't think that you sell enough of it. And that, to me, is a little bit like, it's not... I can understand that from a business point of view why they may have done that, but it also comes down to it goes against your slogan of your company. Basically. Yeah, it comes against your slogan of your company. But it's like there are shopping centres that don't put up Christmas lights now because they don't celebrate it in the area, so they just don't do that. Yeah, and it's like, don't get me wrong, they only make up a very small percentage of the UK population. But
does that make a difference? How? That's irrelevant.
That's really funny because
there's so much power they have.
There's a sandwich shop right across the street from me that's owned by a Muslim couple, and they sell pork, they sell beef, they sell chicken.
Yeah, exactly.
You get that. It's just it's their own personal beliefs, but nobody has a problem with people saying, "I own this cafe and I don't want to serve," and I'm a Muslim and I don't want to serve pork in this cafe. No. Nobody would have a problem with that.
No,
right? You'd serve lamb, you'd serve beef. Right.
But you have a Christian restaurant. He says, "I don't want to serve gay people," and there'll be a huge uproar.
Right. Just saying. Yeah, but in England, all these Pakistani and they're not Indian, Pakistani and Bangladeshi restaurants, they don't serve pork. Right? Nobody has a problem with it.
Yeah,
but they serve beautiful. But a lot of restaurants serve beautiful lamb and beautiful beef dishes.
They'll serve turkey bacon on burgers and stuff like that. If they're going to.
But nobody has a problem with it.
Stay in the window, halal.
Yeah, most of the time there's halal shops as well. In fact, the halal slogans all over the place. But I even found out
halal, man. Nobody has a problem with halal, right?
Well, I don't know. I kind of do have a problem with halal, and it's not just.
But you're going down the vegetarianism kind of.
No. I'm not going down how it's killed. I'm not going down how the food is killed. I'm talking about the halal certification. No, I'm talking about the halal certification. Halal certification is something that you have to pay for, and this is something I found through Suit Yourself. It's one of the reasons why I hate the fact that I'm addicted to Cadbury's, because when you pay for a halal certification, you fund Saudi essentially, because that's where you're paying for the certification from.
Yeah,
Well,
but no,
So-
it's just all a load of bollocks in it. I mean, Christ, how deep do you want to go into it?
Well, that's all I'm saying is when it comes down to halal, it's just that's what it does. You have to get that halal certification. Where do you think it comes from so they can be certified?
Saudi Arabia and fucking Islam and all that
Exactly.
shit.
So-
Yeah, I'm aware of that part of it.
So that's what I'm saying is by every company that has to get a halal certification
Dude,
has
I
to
don't care what you
pay.
say, I'm never going to stop eating Cadbury's cream eggs.
Yeah, I know. I'm never going to stop eating Cadbury's chocolate either. I'm just saying that it's just something that I have to recognize as well. It's just. I mean, I can sit here saying that
Well, you can follow
it's
the
like-
rabbit trail, can't you? You can go down, oh,
the
this
point I'm
supports
making-
that and that supports that.
Yeah, but Anthony, the point that I'm making is you can sit there smoking a cigarette, you know they still cause cancer. Like it's like you can sit there and all day and do something that you know is bad for you or bad all round, but it's like it's just being aware of it. That's all it is. Like it's not saying that I'm not going to stop eating Cadbury's. I love it, but you know, I'm at least aware of the fact they have a halal certification, and that's something that they have to pay for, and that goes to Saudi. That's all it is. It's just knowing that. Regardless of it, yeah, I'm not going to stop eating Cadbury's. So
Well,
you know,
Well, I'm glad you said
Yeah,
that
if you-
because I didn't know.
Well, if you
Yeah, no,
trade
that's
three
how
companies
halal
back,
works.
I mean, they're going to have some affiliation to a massive corporation somewhere. That people are pumping money in somewhere to advertise it or promote it or whatever,
well,
or
no,
to
no,
manufacture it.
I understand what you're saying, but this is just for a certification to say that it's halal. That's all. That halal logo you see,
All right,
that's what it is.
So what decision do you make based on that?
The decision that's made based on that, obviously, is whether it's okay for Muslims to eat or not. It's
I'm
not.
talking about
It's,
you. No, you.
Sorry, what do I make when I
Personally.
when I personally go in there? It's a judgment. It's not really a judgment of anything. It's a personal preference, but I understand what's happening beyond that personal preference.
So you're going to complain, well, not complain about it, but you're going to point something out that it's not ethically good or whatever. It's definitely not positive. But you're still going to carry on using that product.
Yeah, I know, but it's
So
the
you're not
same as I
contributing
could
to
know.
anything, really. You just
No, I
complain
know, but
about it
it's-
for no reason whatsoever.
Well, no, it's just it's pointing out that it exists regardless.
Still
Like
using
it's
it,
like
contributing to the problem.
yeah, no, but I could, like I said before, I could be smoking cigarettes and getting cancer
But, yeah,
from
no,
it. I'm
but
still
why are you
contributing
talking
to the-
about that? I don't understand why you're talking about it. It
Because
seems like
it's
a
just-
complete waste of time. It's like
no,
it's like you're almost like refuting your own point by talking about it.
Yeah, it's no. But I'm just saying it's just to be aware of the fact that that's like, for example, Heathen then didn't have a clue about the halal certificate and how it works. And so therefore, someone learns something.
I know. I understand about the halal thing.
So,
I mean, dude,
yeah, no, but
I
Heathen
really
didn't.
do, I
So,
really do.
but Heathen, you learned something from that, yeah?
I did. Yeah.
So,
see, I didn't know.
therefore,
I
something
mean, I knew
positive
what
came from
halal
saying that.
was, but I didn't know that there was a certain certificate.
Certificate,
they had to
exactly.
get.
And it's just a little bit of information. You can
No,
use
mate,
it or
no,
not.
no.
Like,
No, I'm talking about me and you there, like me and you
Right.
Yorkshire guys together, right?
okay.
Basically, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Heathen. I was.
I'm pretty sure. I just thought we were in a conversation with four people.
No, no, dude. I'm not causing conflict here whatsoever. But that was my point to you.
Damn it,
Basically,
Skull.
I'm sorry. I will finish my point, right? You being a Yorkshire guy, God, great.
I'm not from Yorkshire. I'm from
Lancashire guy, right?
I'm from Greater Manchester. Like,
Lancashire guy. I'll carry on, right? Lancashire guy, knowing the Islam problem around you and talking about halal and everything else, and really complaining about it, but doing nothing about it.
no, but the thing is the difference between being able to do something about it and just knowing that something is going on. There's a difference. Like it's like I could sit here all day and go, oh well, we know there's a massive carbon dioxide problem with it heating up the planet and stuff, but I can talk about it, but I can't exactly do anything about it, can I? But I can still say something about it, and that this happens. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a difference between. I'm not saying that I can do anything about it. I'm just saying that this is something that you can be aware of if you want to go shopping. I'm aware of it when I do, but it still doesn't mean I'm not going in there and picking up 2 big bars of Cadbury's Dairy Milk.
Yeah.
Like, it's just one of those, but it's being aware of it regardless. That's why I like, this is again why we could go back to why I like quantum physics, because I can't change the fact of how the universe is, but I like knowing about it.
Yeah, but it's just one thing. It's one thing to know about it, but it's another to like tear yourself apart inside about it. So I see where you're coming from, but that's one of those things I wouldn't worry about too much.
Oh no, I don't worry about it. It's just I like knowing the little bit of information. Just like it's just a little bit of information I like. It's like having a bit of useless. It's just a useless bit of information that you can use, if or not. It's one of those. That's what I mean. It's one of those.
Yeah, you see, that's why I like you, man. And seriously, I'm saying that, right? Because I've listened to your streams and stuff, I thought I do find him interesting, which is why I wanted to talk to you anyway. So just have a chat and just have a stone conversation,
Yeah,
which is basically what we're having.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things. I'll always talk about random shit. It's just how I am.
Yeah, well, you're from Manchester. I expect it.
Exactly, and I'm fucking smoking blunts of weed. Of course, I'm gonna come out with shit.
Hey, is pot legal in England?
No, but that's because I'm not an authoritarian completely.
Oh,
Yeah, but nobody gives a fuck in England. Nobody ever has since 1985.
yeah, it's pretty
Even
much
the
illegal
police.
here in the States.
No, it's not.
No,
It's
it's
more
illegal.
legal. It's more legal in America than it is in England.
Yeah,
To be fair, the police are very lackadaisical on it now. They've been very open about that. They don't give a shit anymore.
they
They
got
do.
better stuff to do than bust some guy for smoking weed. I mean, they got better stuff to do.
The thing is, from my point of view, I work 40 hours a week. I love having a blunt a day. I love doing my YouTube videos. I like to keep active. I've got a missus. We're moving out soon. So from my point of view, it's like I'm not going out there robbing somebody to pay for a habit. I'm not going to stop paying my bills and stuff so I can pay for a habit. It's not that. It's more a case of I enjoy doing it, and it makes me almost because of the way that it has an effect on me. It gives me a positive outlook because I got to a point where I looked at life so negative because of how.
We're talking about weed here, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. So it makes me happy and smile
What do you think
because
they're talking about?
I just wanted to clarify. We're not talking heroin.
No. It's just that I used to find because when I looked at
Kids
the
might be
world,
listening. Is all I'm saying.
no, it's like when you see little ironies in the world. Like we have constantly got this bullshit coming through as a rhetoric of we need to stop pollution and calm down on it. But yet at the same time we went to war and got a load of oil. So it's like you war for oil and then you have a war against the fact that the outcome of having that. It's like when you see these little things and you realize how stupid the world can be sometimes. I think it's just a lot easier to just have a smoke and have a laugh at it.
Yeah. I totally agree. Completely.
During this election, all the people who were supporting Clinton, were vastly.
Oh God, talking politics. Fuck.
But however, they took solace in the fact that a number of states, like California and my state, Maine, legalized weed.
Nobody cares about Maine, though. I mean,
We don't care
nobody
about
ever cares about Maine. Well, what's Maine ever going to do?
What has Maine done for us?
Yeah, Texas. Compare Maine to Texas.
Yeah, I mean,
Shut up, sit down.
Nothing's compared to Texas.
What's California doing?
Eric,
Complain.
I'm joking.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, we have Stephen King,
Fuck that guy. He's an idiot.
lobsters, blueberries.
Lobster.
Lobster's
Yeah,
good. Lobster's fucking good in Maine, man. You're right. The fish generally. Maine is good.
yeah, where I grew up.
Right? Don't you have Maine cheese?
I'm sorry?
Don't you have cheese? Maine cheese?
No, no cows in Maine.
There's no cows in Maine.
No, they're all.
I'm surprised no one's done the joke of it's the main place to be, but the worst granddad jokes of the year from the 28-year-old.
Terrible.
There's actually a number of dairy. There are plenty of dairy farms in Maine, but where I grew up on the coast, and a number of the kids I went to school with, their parents were lobster fishermen or clam diggers or worm diggers. My dad, he had two jobs. One was he worked at this group home for mentally challenged people, and the other job he had was.
Yeah, we've got someone in the chat. Je suis Cog. He was simply mentioning interesting shit. Yeah. That's fucking great. I know. I do feel like a Muslim just shot me up and shouted Allahu Akbar. Cheers for that.
But
yes. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah, fucking asshole.
But
in on his fucking.
So where was the second place he worked?
He was a worm digger.
Oh, it was a worm digger.
A worm digger.
Ooh.
Fuck me.
Now that's
Worm digger.
That's quite
Imagine
a
putting it on your resume.
You don't run into too many worm diggers anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember they would dig up, go on the mud flats when the tide was out and dig worms for bait. And I think at the time it was like 15 cents a worm or something. like
That's-
That's not
Good
too
price
bad,
for
actually.
worms back then.
That's a really good price.
and that was back in the 90s. Like now he's a carpenter contractor. You know, a lot
I
more.
was expecting to say like he worked for Microsoft or something.
Went from a worm digger to Microsoft. There you go.
No, no, no.
Went from a
Yeah.
worm digger to making the worm virus.
Yeah,
I do remember my first year of
that's where I
first
got the
week
name.
of college. The first week of college, like, you know, a bunch of us were hanging out. We were discussing what our parents did for a living. And, you know, a lot of people I went to school with were like from New York and Massachusetts, Connecticut. So a lot of the responses were lawyer, accountant, social worker, doctor.
And, you're
And then
all,
I would say my dad's a carpenter, but he used to be a worm digger, and everyone went bullshit. That's not a real thing.
That's not a real
they
thing.
call it bullshit. Like,
Yeah, my
my
reaction
dad
as
wasn't a
well.
worm digger.
I've heard of some
Yeah.
jobs in my
Even
time.
a
where
worm digger is a shrimp stringer.
if someone said worm digger, I'd easily understand it. I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. I've seen people sell worms. Like that wouldn't make. I don't understand why someone would have an issue with understanding that. That's
Hey,
really,
somebody's got to dig up those worms.
I've seen people sell cockles.
I'll be honest with you. Do you know how people like really contortion like what the term of what they're like? You, instead of being someone who basically works on it, I'm a warehouse operative. Like, and they add the extra like that's what I'm doing now. It's like and they add the extra like they make it sound less like
Right.
realistic than worm digger. Trust me. Like, fuck me.
Well, then you'd be a worm extractor.
Custodian. I'm a janitor. Like that sort of stuff. Yeah, custodian. Let's just make it sound like really posh. It's like, in fact, we were looking at the ingredients in that Alex Jones bullshit stuff before, and we realized that it was just all in Latin, and most of it's from like North America, I think. It's fucking funny. Just the roots from some plants in North America, but he's like the way he's like, it's like talking about a jellyfish and calling it a Teratopsis dory or something like that.
Right.
It's fucking funny as fuck.
Using a long Latin name for stuff.
Exactly. Oh, God, it's so funny.
Heathen, what are you going to do next on your channel?
I don't know. I mean, I'm just into debunking a lot of these conspiracies. I mean, the Pizzagate thing has been. I've been staying away from that. But it's just, I mean, it's just a whole nother world of batshit crazy out there. It's like when you get through one layer, you think that's as crazy as the internet gets, and then you go one layer deeper, and you're like, holy shit.
The thing is
really
do you
nuts.
ever find that the funniest, but then you get these people who are like, oh, you attack low hanging fruit, and I do like Vernaculus for turning around and actually hitting the nail on the head by going, the moment I disprove them and debunk what they've said, where do they go? To the lower branches of the tree, because I've just debunked them. So what is your low hanging fruit? And I have this issue with people going, oh, they've got, like, I go for big channels, I go for small channels, I don't give a fuck. If the rhetoric is bad, I will point out where it is flawed. That's all I do. It's my favorite thing. I enjoy doing that sort of thing. I also look at stuff and go, that's really fucking cool, and I'll like it, and I'll say, yeah, this guy's cool, and I'll subscribe. Like, and if you've got this, some of the rhetoric that comes out, like my funniest one and everyone loves it. It's the black people can't be racist. I think that's my funniest bullshit rhetoric, because I know black people that are like, black people are racist to black people, let alone anyone else. Like, it's ridiculous to think, like, I know white people that are racist to other white people, because I know white British people that think that a lot of Germans are still Nazis. It's like they're just completely oblivious. Like, but they have this racial prejudice regardless.
Yeah,
and it's
anybody can be an asshole, and anybody
Exactly.
can hate anybody. It's just the fact of the matter. And yeah, I know. I mean, I've lived in Chicago, L.A., San Francisco. Every city, they have groups that hate other groups, and I mean, it's just the way it is. People can be completely racist.
Can I ask another opinion on any of yours? Like, I've heard a lot of rhetoric coming from, well, usually when it comes from MGTOW, but I've also heard it from the alt-right as well, about judging people in groups. Now, I always like to make people realize there's a distinction between mob mentality and individual mentality. So when it comes down to judging people on a group basis, you're still judging an individual on a group basis, which gives you way too much gap to be wrong. And this is the problem that I seem to be having with people when I'm talking about it, because it's like they keep having this thing where it's like, oh no, but it's okay to judge the race, or it's okay to judge all women on this group mentality sort of thing, these group statistics and stuff, and it's like, oh, group behavior, that's what it's known as, group behavior. That baffles the fuck out of me.
I think it's hard to like talk about a majority of a group and then having that caveat of not all. And it's true. I agree with you. I think that everybody is an individual, but there are individual cliques, individual groups that congregate, with each other. Like, you mentioned the alt-right, the MGTOW and all that. So there are people who congregate with that. I just think that there's a wider range in the middle that is just being complete. That's what they're calling the center now. Not quite alt-right, not quite alt-left. And there's just a wide range of people in the middle there who are looking at both sides and they're just sick of it.
See, I think
both sides are stupid.
I think when it comes to how prejudice works, I think if you talk to someone for about 10 minutes and you can see which direction their conversation may be going in, whether it's going down an SJW path or a religious path, depending, because sometimes you can have a conversation about games or something. You can talk all fucking day about them because it's just talking about games. But when it talks about politics or religion, you can start to see the path they're going down from how many times you've talked to other people from these different backgrounds and different viewpoints. And I think when you go down these paths, I think a prejudice can start into a conversation where you start to think this person may also think this because of this. And it's always good to ask them if they do think that, because then you at least know where you stand with it as well. But I feel that to have a prejudice on someone just from meeting them and going, oh, well, he's a man, so this, and he's I can have prejudice like, well, he'll probably pee standing up. But then again, you could be that one guy who likes to always pee sitting down. So it's like, it's one of those things. It's like you come across these things. So to have a prejudice, I can understand it after you've had a bit of a conversation with someone and try to get their personality, because that's kind of first meeting, it's first introductions, and you're going to make a judgment anyway off that first meeting. I think everyone does that. But I think to have something off just seeing someone in a room and then making a prejudice, I think you can, you'll add to certain stereotypes, maybe what they're wearing. You may take these things on board, but overall, you still, you won't say it out loud. You'll still be open to be wrong about that in a conversation and go, oh, right, I thought this way because of how you wore this and stuff. And you may even mention it out loud. Yeah,
when I first came across you, we had a fallout.
Yeah, we did.
But then we got over it. So
yeah, buried the hatchet.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, people are going to disagree on stuff. That's just the way it is. I just don't understand how people will disagree with somebody, and then, for whatever reason, it's just just cut off all ties with them.
Yeah, I
can't
be honest.
Maybe you don't agree upon this, but you still agree upon this. You can still unite over this. That's what I don't understand. I don't understand how people can just completely cut somebody off and say, "Oh, they're fucking idiots." That's it.
Yeah, well, I have certain deal breakers. I mean, if somebody believes in a certain thing, I'm not necessarily going to be their friend. If they believe child rape or child porn is fine.
Yeah, this is the thing.
Of course, there's always exceptions to the rule.
The only two people I blocked actually on Twitter, because I don't like blocking anyone, but I got a warning from Twitter because basically I'd called a literally convicted paedophile, and yes, I do know that because he told me his name and everything, and he was like, "That's me," and he is, if you look him up, a convicted paedophile. And because I called him a paedophile online when I was responding to him, and I said, well, yeah, I said, I'm only calling you a paedophile because you're a convicted paedophile. That got flagged. So I thought, I don't want him to get my Twitter banned because he's just flagging me now. I don't know what he's doing, but I can only expect it might be him. So I thought it's best just to cut those ties or burn those bridges, because I don't want my Twitter being affected because some guy's now flagging my stuff for being honest.
Yeah, I mean, if I know somebody who's a pedophile or an absolute Nazi or whatever, I'm not going to associate with them because I don't want to be associated with people like that. I mean, we all have our preferences for who we'll associate with. I'm just talking about people who have a difference of opinion about certain things.
Yeah, no, I usually connect with most people. Even I know feminists I talk to who there are third wavers who won't talk to me, who are really in that whole pink tax and all that, and women need rights in the West. I don't really get along with them because they see my content, they block me immediately. Whereas I know feminists who look at rights for women in the Middle East. They see it as a humanist effort, a feminist effort, because also men over there need rights. And I can understand where they're coming from. They just decided to give themselves that label of feminist. My label, if I had to do it, I couldn't do it. So I always see myself as a non-affiliate. Because I can't.
There are.
Sorry, go for it.
I've opened my started to subscribe to more like, kind of more progressive SJWE kind of channels, if like that's the proper label. And like, Skeptic Feminist is one of those channels that understand that Islam is horrible to women in the East, and they want to do something about it, and they address those issues. Or even someone like, are you familiar with ContraPoints?
Yeah, no ContraPoints.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't agree with a few of his. I'm sorry, I don't agree with a few of his points, but he makes sense, and he actually has he's pretty open to new ideas on Twitter. So, it's always good to get a different perspective.
Yeah, no, I do like it. Can't live in an echo chamber. That's why this is the thing. People always get confused about this term community, and I always turn around to them and go, I live in a community right now. Like, I have 2 Muslims who live next door to me. We don't agree on religious issues, but I can live next door to them. It's not like they're doing anything wrong. They're going to go to the shops, get some food. It's one of those, but I know on a religious sense, we will never agree because I don't believe in a God and they do. And if we were to talk about that, it would be hard for us to come to a consensus on that being, a mutually agreed, yes, this is, we'd have to agree to disagree all the time. But that's what a community is. A community is not an echo chamber. The echo chamber is when everyone has to agree with one another because there is a wrong. And it's like, it's one of those. It's really bad when it comes down to it. It's like it's hard to because I mean, if you really want to talk about if there is objective morality or not,